Welcome back and welcome to Talk of the Nation. Now, this week, the Finance Minister Matia Kasaija presented the national budget, which saw a substantial allocation of 1 trillion shillings for the Parish Development Model in the country. Now, this is the first time this project appears among the national allocations intended to see people sharing out at least 100 million shillings in each parish. However, there have been questions about how this project will work. To help us appreciate this, we have David Livingstone ZIJJAN, Member of Parliament for Butembe County in Jinja. Good evening, sir, and welcome to Talk of the Nation.
Good evening, and it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So first things first, how is the situation like in Jinja when you talk about the Parish Development Model? Are people excited about it? And when do you think it is going to start?
I think the excitement is more about the fact that people are going to have a bonanza with money.
Okay.
Than from optimism that this is something that is going to really get them out of poverty. There is apprehension given that this is not the first program that government has brought which has promised heaven on earth and ended up in hell on earth. We've had every term of office comes with its own slogan. If you are Ugandan enough, you've known that there has been the Ntandikwa, there has been the Bonaba Gagawale, there has been the Operation Wealth Creation, the Youth Livelihood Program, the Myoga, and now this one. And I think that there's nothing as frustrating to a farmer as seeing a cloud that promises rain, which only ends up passing without any rain. And I think that is the fate of the Parish Development Model, that it has received a lot of hype, and yet it really has nothing in terms of substance.
So in your view, how can the government, or how can we ensure that this history does not repeat itself with the Parish Development Model?
I think it is too late already to begin thinking of how we can ensure, because otherwise the greatest assurance would be that the money does not go, because it is going to a population that is going to use the money for a different purpose than it would have been designed to do. You look at sending 100 million to each parish every year, but you're sending, because the Youth Livelihood Program is geared and programmed around agriculture. And the idea is that by the end of this program, Ugandans, peasant Ugandans, Ugandans practicing subsistence agriculture will have transitioned from subsistence agriculture into the money economy now. Now, when you talk about 100 million per parish, it really sounds like a substantial amount of money until you break it down into what a household is borrowing. Each household cannot borrow more than 1 million shillings over a period of 36 months. So if you are going to borrow too much, you will borrow 1 million, and then you can borrow any amount under that per family head. So if you have a family that has 3 adults, you say the husband, the wife, and maybe it's polygamous, and it is one household, only one person can borrow that money for 36 months. You break that into yearly breakdowns. You're borrowing 300,000 per year. You're borrowing 5,000 shillings a day. And the government is of the narrative that at the end of you having borrowed 1 million shillings, you will have come out of the subsistence practice into the money economy. You're sending this money, let us assume that the borrower wants to practice poultry, for example. The money is going to a farmer who does not have a water source in the community, who does not have electricity in the community. For you to rear poultry successfully, you have to brood. You brood these chooks for a certain number of days. In that, you either need electricity or you need charcoal. You buy that with money. So when you break your 1 million into all those details, you find that there is going to be more time at the end of the money, and I don't see how this is going to harness wealth for families.
Oh, really?
That's why I think that it's the slogan for this term, but I think that Ugandans will, I mean, we are in the middle income, right? Right now, as you and I speak, we are in the middle income. Congratulations, Uganda has reached middle income status. I don't know whether that is speaking to 1% of the population, 5% of the population, or 50% of the population.
Well, Honorable, in the past, there has been concerns that these kinds of programs do not necessarily benefit omuntu wa wansi, as they would like to term it.
Yes.
So do you agree that with the policy of handing out money to people, there should be an alternative way of people securing their capital?
You know, first and foremost, we have a populist engine in the control of things. That this government, for as long as it will bring the ballot to them, they really, the end for them justifies the means, and the money can be spent provided that the government remains popular among the voters. And so this is the primary information, this is what informs every decision that is going to be made. How the money is got and the checks and balances and the inoculations against the hemorrhaging of this money is none of the concerns of the people behind making these decisions.
Okay.
Yes.
There have also been concerns about not being ready for the programs in terms of training, administration. Are you hearing these things in Butembe sub-county, in your Butembe constituency? I beg your pardon?
Like any other place, I think for the majority of Ugandan parishes, there is no readiness for this money. People still have the other imagination. I mean, where did the Myoga money go? People think that when the government gives out money like this, it is a token of appreciation for how much they have loved the government. I am a member of parliament. Parliamentarians, members of parliament had ideas that they proposed to be inculcated into the program, but which the technocrats did not go with. So really, people are not informed. If a member of parliament is not educated enough about a program that is going to oversee, how do you think he will be able to rate whether the program is succeeding or not? The Right Honourable Speaker the other day sent us on a 2-week program to go and educate the masses and also evaluate, because this money, each parish received 17 million for the financial year ending. Now we are going to check whether this has succeeded, but whether or not it succeeded, the 100 million will go anyway. And this 100 million will keep going every year. I was asking a colleague a question who subscribes to the National Resistance Movement. I was saying, you're going to lend families 1 million for 36 months, and yet you're going to be pumping 100 million per year to the same parish. Where is this other money going to go? So there is no readiness, people are not informed, and there is a lot of, we wonder why there is such a hurry in releasing money to an unprepared public. So trust me, when you see this money being released, call your families in the villages who have access to this money. You will find that their diet has changed. You will find that their wardrobes have changed. People are going to feast on this money.
So what does it take for people to be prepared for this? What needs to be done?
I think that first and foremost, you should really focus on programs that enhance and emancipate people's worldviews and understanding. If I get a good education, if you give me schools and give me a functional education in my constituency, give me health care, give me infrastructure, give me roads, give me electricity, I don't think that I need a handout. Ugandans, if Ugandans can educate their children, if Ugandans can raise their children and be able to have their children protected against sicknesses and diseases, if Ugandans can have roads, even in the rural, if Ugandans can have infrastructure, basically, like my constituency, I have about 4 parishes that don't practice agriculture at all. But the whole program is designed around agriculture. How are they going to benefit out of that? So I sat with the technocrats in the sub-county and asked, how is the Parish Development Model Fund going to benefit these 4 parishes which don't have anywhere to practice agriculture? They said, oh, they will go into other programs, let them go into produce, but they are not dealing in produce. Let them go practice these other things. So
fish farming is also there?
Yes, but where should they do the fish farming? They work for Kakira Sugar Works Limited. They do not own land. So the program should have looked at those dynamics and considered people who don't necessarily fit into the agriculture sector, and also plan for those as well.
But the first disbursement of the funds is going to start in October. Don't you think by that time we shall be ready? How
long does it take to train someone to be able to manage money for a business. And by the way, this is not a grant. Okay, it's a grant to the SACCOs at the parish level, but the homestead that borrows the money has to pay with the 6% interest per annum. So it's not free money. And we are hoping that the enforcement, and we think that the enforcement is going to be as it was with the Youth Livelihood Program. The youth in our constituencies received money, and guess what happened? We had to go bail them out of prisons because they
failed to pay back.
The government is, we wonder why the government is so fast at giving people cash and so slow at giving them services which would empower them to be able to do these things for themselves.
Okay, Honorable, as we get to wrap this up, I'd like you to talk to us about where you see this kind of initiative going over the next 1 year, or let's say 5 years from now.
I don't think, to be honest, I don't think it is going anywhere. It is just going to be like Uganda is in the middle income status right now. The question is whether practically we are in the middle income status. I don't think that if a family that gets 1 million over 3 years is going to be able to pull themselves out of subsistence agriculture into the money economy. The talk around the parish development model is really, really sweet. But the practical fruits, as you've said, in 1 year, we will be back here and you will see that the parish development model will have accomplished nothing.
Yes, David Livingstone Zijjan, that is a Member of Parliament for Butembe County in Jinja, getting to share with us and appreciate and also share his thoughts on the allocation of the 1 trillion shillings to the parish development model. We take a break and return with NTV Weekend Edition.